Hello to everyone. Just please write on the chat if you can hear me well. Okay, super. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the second lecture of the series, How to Make a Portfolio. We did it a portfolio in a fashion design and styling. And then today will be a lecture dedicated on how to make a portfolio in the design area. Oli, our program leader of the Master in Urban Vision and Architectural Design, will manage this lecture. So thank you very much. Elisa, I leave you the stage.
Thank you very much, Davide, and thank you guys for being here with us this afternoon or morning, depending where you are. I'm very pleased to introduce you some tip and something that can be useful for you when you decide to send a portfolio. So there will be a presentation with images that I hope will be good for you. I'm waiting just a second because the presentation has to be uploaded. And in the meantime, I'm telling you that the presentation will be divided in 3 parts. So let's go to the first part. First of all, I am responsible of the Master in Urban and Architectural Design in Domus, but I will talk to you today also about portfolio in product and interior design, because for us, the rules are very similar. And the first one are the 4 magic words: clarity, synthesis, storytelling, and personality. They seem to be very well-known words for all of you, but sometimes they're not so clear how to put them in the portfolio. So let's go a little bit and talk about that. First of all, a portfolio, we can quote the very famous statement of Mies van der Rohe, who says less is more. The portfolio is never about quantity, it's always about quality, because your portfolio has to catch the audience attention, of course, in very few seconds, and so it has to be smart and of course very catchy, and we will see how to make it. So first thing, you don't have to put everything you have done in the past, but concentrate on the details and the quality of it. I'm seeing that there are a lot of people writing in the chat. I haven't told you that, of course, at the end, I will answer all your questions. So don't worry if I don't answer it now. There will be time later on. What you have to do in your portfolio, first of all, you have to present your strongest work. Means that you have to understand which are your strongest work. And it's better always to start the portfolio with the most recent works. We will see more elaborated portfolio in which they can be divided by themes, by, for example, scale project, etc. But by now we can say that it's always better to start with the last if the last is best. In any case, my suggestion is always to start with the project you think is the best for you. The second important thing is the fact that you have to put design index of contents. This is very important to guide the viewer through the understanding of your work. Means that if you put a lot of projects and they're very different from each other, it is important to allow the audience to understand where they are and what we're talking about. It's very important to keep the contents easily rearrangeable. This is something for you. We don't see that, but you must have a way, a PPT, whatever you like, to be able to change and to make some adjustment all the time. How we have to show your portfolio, of course, what you have to show in your portfolio. First of all, you have to show your own identity and main skills. This is very difficult. One problem is we receive a lot of portfolio which they're very similar to each other. They seem to be done a little bit, with very generic rules. And what we want to know, especially in a very visionary school like Domus, when we decided with the jury if we want to accept a student or not, it's the person of the students. We want to understand what you have about yourself of magic, of unique, and you have 100% certainly many things which are unique and they correspond only to you. Of course, the portfolio is about your strength and your interest. The portfolio is not the moment where you talk to us about what you have to improve. The portfolio is what you have already improved. And your interest, which in my opinion are many times explained by words. Many times you tend to write down a little letter or something describing you. And every time you describe yourself, it's again quite generic. It's like, yes, I like very much to do sport. I'm a competitive person. I like to cook. I like to watch movies. Guys, this is for everybody. Someone that get in love to you is not because you watch movies. It's this specific movie. It's which way you have watched it and what you find inside that is really unique for you. We will go more in details through that. Then, of course, it's important to talk about your career aspirations in the portfolio, because it's the moment in which you first establish a relation with your employer and in which you establish what you would like to be. The portfolio, it's 100% your life project. Of course, it's very important to keep it up to date, but you know that, and I'm sure you're very thrilled every time you finish a project to upload it in your portfolio. A very practical thing is the fact that you don't have to present only the final outputs. Many times we receive final images, good renders, but we do not understand the process through which the student is arrived to these final images. So you should many times present also the design process. Means that you must find a way to present from the brief to the final result, the final night, you know, the renders, the final collages, images. But what the project is about is the process that you're there, the way and how you find it unique and how you find the solution. Yes, this part is very difficult. Choose and pick the right pages. At the end, you have a very long presentation. Understand which are the more relevant parts. So, in my opinion, for this very first part, I would say that you should remember that your portfolio is a communication tool. It should be as easy to read, and you must be able to explain it. And of course, explain it like you have to explain to your grandmother. Everybody has to understand that, not only your friends, designers. And of course, you have to include projects that you are happy with and can identify yourself. So important thing are cover page. There must be a cover page. Don't put it a generic cover page. I will show you some examples. The cover page is like the first image you give about yourself. You have Instagram, you know very well how to make your cover page, how to make your picture unique. It's the same thing. Your first cover page has to be unique and has to be very consistent with all the rest of your portfolio. There must be a short bio, short, remember, short, about your work experience, about your academic background. It has to be very short, readable. Nobody has time or more than 5-6 minutes to spend on person portfolio, and so it goes fast. You have to put very, very short sentences and very, very easy one. There must be the index, and as we said, so if a person is interested in go and find at first one specific project, it's clear which page and where. Then there must be the selection of best projects. First project, a cover page, title, brief, and project details, year, teamwork, and role played. This is very important. Many times we receive generic images, final images, but we don't know where the project is, or there are very long storytelling about the project. Be short. Put very simple data, you know, like a list, a very simple list where you put the title of the project, the very short brief, like 2-3 sentences maximum, and then of course some about the year, which year that project has been done. And the teamwork, have you worked individually or with other people? And what was your role? Have you done final renders? Have you contributed since the beginning to the idea, the research, the development? Short, few sentence, and that's all. Like keywords, use a lot of keywords, make it simple to be read. Nobody wants to read one page description of your project. Another very important point is to put in your portfolio competition, publication, special projects. Don't think that we do not calculate that. On the contrary, we love that. We love to see that you are so curious, so engaged, so passionate about design that you have done even more than what your school have required to you. At the very end, don't forget to put your contacts and links so everybody knows that you are reachable. So let's go. What we like to see in the portfolio to be able to evaluate you. Of course, sketch and maquette. Here an example of a project in product design in which the student has decided to put some sketches but already related with the packaging. So in one page, we are able to see the first sketches the students have done, and then the final image of this packaging with the Pantone colors. So we understand through which criteria you want to establish this process. And each page has to be made with the same kind of rules. Means that in the previous page, I got sketches, I got a sort of mood board, and the final output, each page will have the same. So we don't move from one page to another saying, okay, but why before he explained through a drawing and here there's no drawing? So you understand the consistency is very important. Of course, whenever you have done a final model or a final merchandising output, you have to show it. It's important. Even if you don't think you have a very professional final image of your model, of your mock-up, of your merchandising, it's important. Try to work a little bit on Photoshop if you're able, but try to put it so we know and we see which was the last phase of your project. Then, of course, it's important again to show consistency. So if you show a final model, there must be parts and very clear images. Don't try to put too many things in one page. You have to select what is good to be shown. And every time I say, like if you were explaining to your grandmother. And so one page, one image, very clear. If it is good, it will work perfectly. And at the end, it's important also to show a little bit the components. So you see here in this portfolio, there were 3 images about the final model. Basically, this was a prototype. And the prototype was explained with the first image, the second close packaging, and the third one in which we see inside. The student in this case has no problem to decide to use the 3 pages to show it because he knew that it was really a strong image to show and a very good one in reality. You see even the details and the open game, so we are able to see exactly how all the project works with something that has been produced, so we are able to follow it. But for other portfolios, in general, it's very important to show diagrams and technical drawings. Guys, don't think that a final render is enough to let us understand if you have understood your project. It's absolutely relevant, as I told you before, to show the process. So every time you have to show as I said, here is important, diagrams and technical drawings, remember it. Here you see they're both. So diagrams that allowed us to see how this inner space works. This is a project from a student in interior design. And of course, it's very important always to put details like technical details. So we know that you are able to make this part. Every firm, every design studio want to have junior architects, junior interior designer, junior project designers able to make the whole process. So the technical drawings are super important, but don't just put generic technical drawings, you see this page, how much is consistent, the dominant of color, orange color, just to show that it's not just put like that in one page, it's not just through for us, but has been carefully selected for us. The same, this page, which is from a different portfolio, but works in the same way. There is a very short description of these, like explaining it is a G-box, and then very clear images on how this space work from close to open. You see, even here is not full of things. There is a very simple white page. We don't want to see colored pages below, etc., etc. Very clear, very simple, allowed us to see and to be concentrated on your drawings, and it will be much better. You see here, it's also about the fact that the student have decided to go and to refine using the tools of renderization to have very, very clear images. And each page, again, it's identical to the other, till the axonometric view that allowed us to understand how the inner space work and where those new parts were put in this, which is an abandoned factory, but is not relevant for us. The relevant thing is it's super clear. Of course, working very well because it's an interior design portfolio. In an urban architectural portfolio, there would have been one thing missing, which is the contest, because we work on an urban scale. So I would have seen this part and what is around, but always letting the background white, very simple, very clear, less is more. Another important thing, not only renders are valuable, you're not supposed to know everything about technical tools. You go in a master also to understand new things. So don't try to make one thing that you are not good with because you think it will be, I don't know, more wow. If you're better using Adobe, using Photoshop, InDesign, and you want to make collages, do it. It's the same for us. The important thing is that you're able to make consistent and clear images. As you see here, this was a great project that the students have done in the city of Palermo, in the south of Italy, in Sicily. And you see in this project, the final image is a collage. There are many things put together using a mixed technique. It's very important. We're not fixed on one thing. We want to see your identity and especially your creativity. Domus Academy is an envisioning school, so show us your creativity, show us this space. As you see here, there are many, many different techniques put together, and again, each page is very consistent. The style is important. Show us your style. An important example of style I'm showing you about one of my students of architecture in what consists on analysis and representation. Representation is fundamental, is about your language, is about the kind of drawing language that you're choosing. And this help us to identify you, but allowed also yourself to understand who you are. In this case, this student made this incredible work on an existing architecture. Just want to show us how she was able to reinterpret the architecture. This is the existing architecture in China, and those are the drawings made by this incredible student. She has decided to represent an existing building because that was so an important element of her research that she didn't just want to put a picture. She really wanted to show the fact that she has studied it and she has redrawn it. So see here how much she have worked, making, of course, a perfect plan, a poster defining what she felt about this space, about this building, and of course, a postcard putting this existing architecture in the city of Milano, showing us how it could have been putting in the place where she had to make her own final project. And at the very end, a beautiful model. This is a model, is incredible to think, but when it's dark, there is light inside, and so you see really the depth of the space, even if it is a very small maquette. But you see, even the final picture, she took her time, she make it one image per page with a very short description, a very poetic description. Of course, I was thrilled about the project she did. get to see some example. I'm sure you want to see which kind of portfolio we like to see in Domus Academy. So I will show you examples of product design of first. This is a portfolio you see from the very first page. Nin Chen Lin, she showed us her identity. She's very colorful, and she introduced herself in a very nice way. Ciao. She knows that it's a portfolio for an Italian school, so she used Italian. And of course, one page about herself. You see here, there's no long description, very short phrases, very short things, and visually understandable using symbols. Even her picture, the ones she shows, the picture is also very important. Here, she shows us herself smiling, but not in a, I would say, private image. This is a professional image, but it's very fresh, it's personal. Even from the third page, I totally get a little bit at least, the kind of personality of this girl. She was absolutely outstanding and fantastic. And of course, you have seen there is also the index. You see how much each page is clear. There is the first introducing page for each project, the number that put us back to the index, and one image and a very short description. And then we get inside, as you see, clear white background. And here you see we have one part of the page devoted to what was the final project. So when she was able to make it, here we see the final collection. And on the other part, we see the inspiration. So we understand the final output, but at the same time, we understand the inspiration. And then, of course, another page showing the merchandising process. So the visual appealing she has used about it with inspiration about fruits and vegetable. A second project, you see, each project is defined by a color. The colors are very important. Don't put too many colors in one page. Each project can have a different color. So mentally, we immediately go back to that or this project according to the dominant color we have found there. In this case, is red and is a super nice project about a portable lamp. Again, you see from one side the final output of it. So basically, when she was able to make it and produce it. From the other side, the process of inspiration and some technical elements, allowing us to see that she's very good controlling all the part of the process. And of course, even the details that show us what was for her the strain on this project. In this case, the portable part. So the end is super important here. Again, third project, third color. This is a bed, but again, you see on one side, you see the idea. From the other side, you see the final output and you see the technical element. This bed didn't went in production, but you see here that there are a lot of details, a clear page and very clear element. And we could go on for all the projects because they're all made in the same way. Each page is done in the same way. So it's very simple for someone who opened the portfolio for the first time. Don't spend too much time understanding how to read a page. A page has to be crystalline clear. Like here, we have everything. Idea, research, inspiration, technical details, and final output. 2 pages, we have everything. But she selected very well what she wanted to show us, and she made it. And we could go through the other project, the last one. This is a chamber for smokers, and you see it's done in the same precise way. And so I think this is a very good example of the portfolio with the last page in which she gave us, using the same font, the same inspiration of the cover page, the few information we need. This is a very good example of a product design portfolio. Let's go now to another example of a portfolio of a student that came from a background in architecture and are specialized in interior design. In this case, the portfolio is in Italian already because Chiara is Italian, and she decided to put, instead of the previous portfolio with just 1 page and very short information, one page about a short text talking about herself. But immediately after, there is always one page through which we can go very easily and visually to understand which are her skills, which are her experiences, the workshops, prizes she has won, and of course her academic background. Those things are fundamental. Again, the background here is white. The informations are very, very clear. The symbols used are readable. So it takes me 1 minute to understand her past in terms, of course, of a professional. And then we set the index. She has divided, and here the index is very important because there are a lot of projects going through scale from architecture to interior design. For each page, again, she has decided to put one image that allowed us to see what she's talking about, a description. You can make even a short description in this case, but the very important thing is the fact that before the description, she gave us the information in a very short way. So if I don't have time to go through the long description, I only have to read category, place, time, and teamwork. And through those information, I'm done. I already have what I need. And then, of course, in this case, you see on the bottom part of your right side, you see that for each page, she left a very small written telephone number and also her email. This is important because imagine that someone print the portfolio. You send to a firm, they print your portfolio, they lose a page, and they have lost your contacts. You put yours in small font in every page is absolutely better. Here again, you see the page is very clear. She put a description. In my opinion, you can be even not using the description, the written part, but putting only the information. So here is the location, and here we understand the process through which to make this very new hub on the housing side. And here she showed us also the process with the program, and at the end showing perfectly the plans, elevation, renders, etc. It's important also the fact that she has shown us the plan section elevations for each side, so we understand perfectly where we are and we understand the materials she has used, so we know that she was in full control of each part of this project. And at the very end, she put a final render. Chiara is very good using, of course, rendering, so it's perfect. You see, the second project is made in the very same way. So I go through each project and I find for each page the same kind of information of the previous project. So I don't get lost. Here, there are even more information about her technical drawing skills, which are super important. I was very thrilled seeing this portfolio because I saw and I said, okay, she's in full control of the technical drawing, which is very good. The same thing about each project. You see again, first page, description, second page, there is always a plan, but being more urban scale, you see the whole big plot and, of course, the area. This is important, but not put other very confusing images, just this one. And of course, interior is part of the inner side, night view, beautiful night views. Nobody usually put that. And then, of course, we can go a little faster. Here you see, in this case, in this project, she decided to give more emphasis to the research and the idea, so the program she has used. But if we go and we enter in the interior design projects, nothing changed. The scale of project changed, but not the way she's presenting. She's extremely consistent. Here we see we're talking about a temporary shop or a shop, and here we have the plan, we have the structure she has used, and we have a collage showing, of course, what was this pop-up store inside, and some images that she wanted interesting to show which kind of space were created about, of course, in this case, furniture. And each project is made in the same way. Here we have a project again about a small shop, and how the space open and close in different moments, and also how it was integrated in the public space where he was put to be more visible. So you see, each project is done in the very identical way. And here again is an inner space done in an abandoned factory. I show you another project before made in the same place. Here was about creating a sort of chill out space for people having sound experiences, but individual sound experiences. And so she has divided and made a very precise program of the whole space. Was a big factory. So she explained here idea, research, and program. And then she goes through a more detailed way of explaining how the program works for each day, during which time, for which kind of user. And at that point, she gives us the idea of the space, how it works, and how it is. In that case, she spent more time talking about the program instead of putting technical drawings, but because she has shown us technical drawings in the previous projects, so she can decide for each project what is the strength, what is the most relevant part. Here you see there are beautiful section of the space to show us, and again in this project she goes back to very specific technical drawings, understanding in this case how the whole mechanism of the space works. Last page, again, here she put only her name because we know that in every page there is her number and email. Let's go now to the last project. In this case, I choose a project of one of my students in urban and architecture because I think it's probably the portfolio that shows more individual creativity. I love this portfolio because the student decided from the beginning to not give me a portfolio, but a booklet. Was already a book, and he decided that he wanted me was to decide him about Domus Academy being in Domus or not. He really wanted to show his capability through a kind of book, like, you know, a novel describing things. So from the very first page, I see what it is about, and I enter, and here you see he decided to give only very few information and put the barcode. So if you need to know more about me, if you like my portfolio, is saying you can just go through the barcode and you will have the full extended CV, the full extended projects. But now I want to keep your attention and I want to give you what for me is more envisioning. So he decided that each project was a chapter, and at the end, the final chapter would have been the whole landscape for each project. So he entered, and of course for each project, because he has to put only few images for each project, there is always the barcode. I tried the barcode and it opened to the full version of the project. So it's a very good idea also this one. I have doubts. I don't know, have you done technical drawings in this project? I open with barcode and I enter and I have the whole information about it, and I'm sure. But here he really pushed a lot on the idea of catching my attention, and I can be bored very easy. So I was wow at the end of this portfolio, because he immediately decided that he wanted to show projects, showing me that he was able to control a very large scale. Here we're talking about landscape in a valley, and every page is detailed. It means that I understand the scale, very important. And you see one drawing, one page, very easy. Understand what was about. He has to create a new shelter for tourists, and again he goes very fast to a second project done in Venice, and here it's shown as the whole process, basically how he found the place, how we want to rebuild it, and how is the last part. So there are like only 3 parts. You see, it's really working as a book, means that one part is left empty, but it's not empty because he has nothing to say to me. It's because he is extremely elegant in the way he's communicating to me. Look at this axonometry, is outstanding. Is a beautiful axonometry that talks about his passion and his abilities. So every project you see a little bit, the first page of each project in this case is adding one piece to the previous project to have at the end a kind of very long landscape. And it is unique. It's normal to make a portfolio like that? No. Did I love it because that was very far from normal? Yes, I was waiting for a project, for a portfolio like this one. I was thrilled. Here again, for example, in this case, he decided to give more attention to a full plan of the project and also making elevations, so I can understand a little better how it works. In this case, again, it's showing me, look, the beauty of those drawings. Look at here, and the capability to show me that is able to think in an urban scale. Give a portfolio for someone in this master in which you have to do with the landscape, urbanism, architecture and architectural details, and we insist a lot on the capability to make all those scales working together for the community, for the good of the community. One drawing like this one explaining everything about the fact that the students know what we're talking about. Look at here, another project. It started with the model. It's a beautiful, outstanding model, enlightened from inside. It took me a moment to understand, yes, is a model, and is a beautiful model, is a beautiful picture. So you see, for each project, he has selected, again, the strength. He hasn't shown me everything. Less is more. He has shown what is the best for him. But allow me to understand it, because after there is this incredible art, so they show me exactly how the whole space worked. And again, here I see it better. And we go for the last project in which he has shown just the plans and this beautiful, beautiful section. So at the end, what he have left to me, it's the final page of his portfolio. As you see here, is a component, a mix of all the projects that he have shown. Imagine at the end if I will not remember a portfolio like this one. And this is very, very important. Last page, of course, about information, using always the same consistency. It was a book for him, and he played like it was a book for the last page. So those were the projects I wanted to show you today, to give you a little tips about the portfolio. I've shown them very, very fast. And now I go back to the chat, because I'm sure you can have a lot of questions. So probably Davide already. Ciao, Davide. You can tell me
Ciao.
if there are questions for me.
Yes. Just a second. Let me share video. Okay. Hello, guys. So just because I've seen a lot of questions in the chat, this lecture is related on how to create a portfolio in the design area. So I mean interior, product, and architectural design. We did it for fashion last week, and will be available on our YouTube channel, I guess, within of today, maximum tomorrow. This one is just for the design area. So stop to a question about fashion. This is not for fashion, because we already did it. So let's talk about the question.
Let's start, Davide, from the very last one, and I go up.
Yes, but to be honest with you, all of the previous questions were related to fashion. So the first one is about the length. So how many pages approximately they had to put in a portfolio, and then you can go through the other questions.
Thank you very much, Davide. Yes, it's an absolutely relevant question about the number of pages. I've shown you here average. I've shown you portfolios in which there were like 3-4 pages for each project. The main and most important thing, it's about the choice of projects. Of course, if you have 50 projects, you cannot put 50 projects in your portfolio. If you have just 4 projects, you can put more than 3 pages if you like, because there are not so many, so you can devote time. But the most important thing is about how you choose what you want to show. Many times the images that you have are not good enough, so you have to spend time redrawing sometimes before putting in the portfolio. Very important, as I said, don't put too many informations in one page. Less is more, always. Now, I go to, can we place handmade render sketches in the portfolio? Of course, probably SR, you just get inside this Blackboard a little late, because I've shown the first example about product design portfolio in which there were handmade sketches. They are absolutely important, especially if you have good skills on sketch. Yes, we like to see it. You can decide it. To make a unique portfolio, as I show you the last one, you can decide that you're extremely good sketching, you're extremely good with handmade drawings, make the portfolio through each through this, and balance it. Means that in each project you can use also this part. So this is a little bit up to you and up to your capability to understand what it's good, which are your best skills. Then I go, just one second. When you mentioned career aspiration, what exactly would you expect as the answer? No, I mean, career aspiration means that whenever you present yourself, you know what you would like to be. Means that when you describe yourself, you can put 4 or 5 sentences in your portfolio. It's always good to know that, I don't know, you would like to go and work in a firm because you need to have more experience on teamwork, or you want to go to work in a firm because you would like to work more on the technical drawings. You would like to become an interior architect with specialization in retail, or you would like to become more an urbanist. Whenever you send the portfolio, it's always better to give a little more detailed information, because saying I want to become an interior designer is a little bit generic. You can add some more information about that, saying yes, I would like to become an interior designer, but I'm very keen on the part related to housing, or of course other elements, hospitality. I would like to develop more my skills on the hospitality side. So we already know that. Everybody knows about that. So it's better. Then I go, how many projects will be ideal? I already answered these questions. I said, depend on the number of projects you have. I've shown you those portfolios. Average, they got from 6 to 10 projects each portfolio. So you can put 10 projects, in my opinion, but you have to select very well what you want to show for each project you're showing. If you like, you can pause me here if you want me to go back and to show you again one of the 3 final portfolios that I've selected to show you. Then, can we get a call? Sorry. What would be the core of skill in product design? Like, for example, is in urban is about the scale. Is product about human and user? I've shown you, yes, of course. I don't think there is a main difference I show you the portfolio of product design, the final portfolio, this beautiful portfolio. They were projects very different from each other. One project was about a set of table objects. Another project was about a small chamber for smokers. So they were different in scale, they were different in terms of kind of final user. But they were very consistent in terms of the way the work produced, thought. The research was clear. So I'm not expecting that a young designer already has a precise target. It's more your what you would like to develop here. But yes, I guess it's the consistency inside each project that is more relevant. Then, of course, if you have done more projects about social issues, or for example, yes, social elements, you can just trained in your portfolio. There are a lot of architects, for example, or a lot of product designers that have worked a lot for communities, make I don't know, self-made projects in which they just design the process for poor communities. This is a plus because shown already your interest and your identity. So yes, it's good, you can do that. Can we get a copy of this presentation anywhere? I'm sure there will be, and I'm sure David can tell you. And I think in any case, this is a webinar, and so you can, David will answer later. When you mentioned, this I've already answered. How many projects will be ideal? I already answered. How many sketching can be in a portfolio? As I told you guys, I cannot decide. This is up to you. It's about a balance. If you have very good sketches for each project, you can put in one page a sketch for each project. I have nothing against it. It depends on the quality. The portfolio is about the quality, not the quantity of images you are giving. Imaging is like a makeup on a face. Makeup is about balance. If I put too much lipstick, if I put too much mascara, if I put too much of everything, it will be too much. I have to balance. It's the same thing. It's about your outfit, what you choose every day when you go out. There is a moment in which you decide what is the right balance, what you want to wear. The portfolio, it's you. The portfolio is a very important part of you, especially because they are creative people. So you have to understand the balance. The two important things are the portfolio has to be readable by everybody. So like your grandmother has to be able to understand your portfolio. And it has to be readable in a short time, few minutes. So don't put too much. Select the best. Then, print or digital, what format is best to go for? Screen, okay, here again. I've shown you the last project, the one in urban and architecture. It was both. The barcode allowed you to go on the digital portfolio that is, of course, 100% completed because there are everything. In the digital one, you can decide to put also projects with more pages. But the idea of the portfolio that I've shown you, the last one, is the fact that he printed it as a booklet and he sent to the firms he wanted to work with. And so people has to open and be like interested and catched by the unique format of this portfolio and open it and then go with the mobile and the barcode, knowing more information about the single project. So again, it's up to you. There is never a precise rule. It's exactly because it has your identity. I've seen great portfolio made through videos by people that were very good using videos, and they sent through videos. Inside there was everything, but made by a video, catching video, super funny video. Then you have also, you decide the kind of tone you want to use in your portfolio. You want the portfolio to be more ironic, you want the portfolio to be a little bit more formal, a little bit more dramatic, depends on you. So I cannot give you the answer. Certainly when, if the question is, you want to send a portfolio to Domus Academy because you would like to enter in Domus Academy and you want to be evaluated, you have to present a PDF of portfolio. And then you can put a link also in which we can go through your digital portfolio with more information. But what we want to have is the PDF that a little bit is like the printed version, but we see on screen, but it's the same. Then I go. I have a question which is, do you guys prefer a fixed format, print or PDF? Is the same. I've already replied to it. If you already have a website, of course, you send the PDF because we need a format, a specific format, and the enrollment has precise rules because there is a jury. We have to evaluate each portfolio carefully. But then you can always put the link to your website, and I'm always glad to see the websites of people, to see what here. It's about being creative, being unique, to show us your unique part, really, how much you already are envisioning and why you would like to come to the most envisioning school in the world. This is what it's about. So I can give you my personal ideas, like the last portfolio I've shown you, which is more risky. because it doesn't follow the normal rules of the portfolio. I love it, yes, but this is personal by me, my Elisa, because I like to see unseen things. I like to see your personality. I'm fascinated by your personality, guys. The Domus Academy is a school of people coming from all over the world with extremely unique personalities. Of course, I'm fascinated by that. But then it's a little bit up to you, the capability to understand which part of yourself you want to show through the portfolio. Then, can you tell a little about, no, sorry, I can't. Do you give importance to the hand-drawn sketches? Yes, I already answered to that, of course. It's very important. One thing is, in the portfolio, put sketches of projects. Many students send us sketches of, I don't know, portraits. This is not relevant. We are talking about a design school, so if you put good sketches, hand drawings of projects is great. If you put hand drawings about, I don't know, a marina or a landscape, but not a project or landscape, yes, I like it, but I cannot understand how much this hand drawing helps you in the design process. So everything has to be related to the projects and to the design. As I'm a fashion student, no, sorry, can different projects be incorporated in one portfolio? My dear, you must. You cannot put only one project in one portfolio. Each portfolio is called portfolio because it's a collection of more than one project, and each project has to be shown with a selection of images that you already have and showing the best of you. Then it is necessary to use any particular font size. I like Kruti this question very much because I read it because I want to reply it carefully. It is necessary to use any particular font size for the text and headings and any other information. If so, kindly mention the specifications. So, the font, the visual aspect, the layout are, like the projects that you put inside the portfolio, part of your aesthetical choice, part of your style, part of your personality. So yes, I'm very curious about the kind of font, the size of font, the number of images you are putting, but is exactly what I'm expecting you to pick, not me to tell you. Is the opposite. I need you to make this choice. I need you to understand which is your favorite font, which is the one that you think is better with the style of your projects, with your personality, with the consistent of colors, with everything. And I repeat, the consistency and less is more. So you mentioned a very important part because it is super relevant to pay attention to details. A font, it's not a superficial detail. I'm a kind of obsessed person for details, and I think it's a value being a designer. So try to do the same. Try to be obsessed somehow. Try many fonts. Try many ways to do your portfolio, and at the end, choose the best. So you see, the question was fundamental, but I cannot give you a unique answer. The answer is I'm curious to see whenever you will send us your portfolio, which font you have chosen. Then, what is that one thing you expect in the portfolio? Okay, I think I want to see who you are. So I can tell you what I don't want to see. Generic layout, generic images, generic description. I need to see your personality. So I'm expecting something that I haven't already seen. But we are talking about creativity. So there are elements that you have to put in the portfolio. I mentioned it. Technical drawings, sketches if you have, final models if you have. Very important for architecture, plan, section, elevation that show us that you're able to, and also interior design, that you're able to make them, then renders, collages, posters, whatever is the technique that you like, you use it. So we need to understand that you are ready for a master program in a prestigious school like Domus Academy. So this is important that you put elements about what you're able to do. So which kind of program you're able to use. If you are great in 3D Max, you will put, of course, some great renders on 3D Max. If you are more good in Photoshop and in design, probably you will have outstanding collages and poster. If you're super good in technical drawings, I will have super precise plans and elevations. If you're able to make an axonometry, give me axonometries and put everything in an order that is understandable also for your grandmother. So we will be sure that everybody can understand. Those are the things that I'm expecting to see in a portfolio to be able to evaluate you. Then there is something that you have to put more, which is the choice of your personality, the kind of font, the number of images, the number of projects, the order of projects can be, as I suggested, from the most recent till the very old one, but depends also on the quality of them, which kind of image for each one you want to choose. You see, there are many elements you have to consider about, but I repeat, for me, if I have to select, the bases are technical drawings, collages, if you, and you know, I don't think if you're not able to make great renders, you are not good for Domus Academy. On the contrary, you'll find other ways, you will find other skills, you will work more with collages, with posters. So don't worry about that. The important thing is be very careful about each page. The quality is the most relevant thing. You have really to be careful about the quality of your portfolio. Each page, go, read, watch it again, spend time on it. Be sure that the balance of parts are good. Be sure that you haven't put too much, and it will be good, of course. Then, hello, madam. I noticed that the portfolios you displayed did not have much of a write-up, so it is not really requested. You are right, it's not requested. On the contrary, it's a design school. You talk through design. So your language, our drawings, our renders, all those things is your language. The writing part, as less as better. What I'm expecting are relevant informations, like, for example, as I told you, the year, the group, the teamwork, your specific part of this project, those information, the place you have made the project, those informations, yes, for each project. But a long description for each project, no, is not required, because each firm has very short time to go and see your portfolio. Each of us receive tons of portfolio every day. So we want to see something that catch our attention. And if we have to read too much, we lose some interest. And especially we think that you're not able to talk through design, which is the core idea of Domus Academy. Thank you for your question. Can a product designer portfolio also include some projects related in other design disciplines, or perhaps some illustration of artworks? Okay, for the first two parts, yes, absolutely. You can have, Domus Academy is a cross-disciplinary school. There are people coming from background in fashion going to design. There are students with a background in urbanism that goes for product design. So there's no rules. And of course, it's about the quality of your projects. We evaluate the quality of your projects and your skills, technical skills to get inside the school. So after, you can have a different background and be accepted in a project, in a master program, just because your projects were consistent and we understood you're ready for this kind of master. For what concern artworks, no, not so much. It means that, yes, if you have done in the past the artist, and so 90% of your work is about being an artist, or you have been a photographer before, yes, you can. But if you are talking about artwork that you have done in your free time, I never suggest you to put that. It's better to put illustrations, more illustration about your projects, of course. Yes. How about other projects outside our study? As example, someone in an interior design, but she has a capability on designing wedding card. Could it include it portfolio? Yes and no. Means the example you have put, I don't think is 100% related. If you mean by designing wedding cards that you have skills as a graphic designer, yes, but you have to show us that you have great skills as a graphic designer. So be careful to put something that has a good quality. Always is not about quantity, it's about quality. So of course, if you have skills in other domain of design, you can always show us that. The important thing is the quality you are using for each project you show. So yes, multidisciplinarity is more than more accepted. Be sure that it's in the good quantity. Again, you make some painting in your free time, it's not probably so relevant to put in the portfolio. You have done a school like an art school, and you have done painting for 15 years of your time. In this case, you can put a couple of your best work. I hope you understand the difference here. Then I already explained about the size of the portfolio. What are the points that HR or recruiter looks for a portfolio? Well, I think I've described it till now, honestly. So I just finished to say them. Technical elements, renders, if you're not able to use very well renders, so you use collages, axonometries, any kind of representation skill, use as possible way, your capability to work, to be part of a teamwork, your many things related to the fact that you are able to show the projects in a very clear way. But then it's a little up also to the kind of firm or company you're applying. It's very important because before sending a portfolio to understand which are the core messages of the company you want to send to your portfolio to, because you have to match a little bit that. Sometimes I say to my students also, don't change your personality. If your portfolio really responds to who you are, it's better sometimes to receive a negative answer from a firm you would have worked with, but knowing from the beginning that it could have been a match, because you know that your personality goes on a different way. So this is also important, to be honest in your portfolio, to show really who you think you are, not just to respond to the needs of the market. Can all the projects provided in the portfolio be diverse? I don't understand very well this one, honestly. What do you mean in different topics? I show you only portfolio with projects coming from different topics. In the one of product design, one was a set table, another one was a portable lamp, a third one was eye glue for smokers. In the interior design project, I've shown you projects about housing, project about shops, projects about communication. So yes, of course they can, but I hope I understood your question. Can the portfolio be physical medium? Yeah, okay, so that happened to me, the fact that I don't know if you're talking in general or for Domus Academy. If you're talking for Domus Academy, that happened to me, that someone really sent through the post the portfolio, but because was a diary with pop-up images inside, something that I still have, and that was astonishing. I didn't even have to go to see, to have other information about the student. When I opened it, I saw this diary with all the skyscrapers made in pop-up and sketch-made drawings, technical drawings, etc. I said, wow, this is super unique, of course. So if you like to send a physical portfolio, I have nothing against it, but again, it's about what you're sending. If you just have to send printed pages of what I could have seen online, honestly, send me, don't spend time, send me. If it is something unique that you can show only via post, yes, of course, yes, I say yes. As as a jury, what is your expectation from the student in the portfolio? Well, I already explained, I already answered this question. Others, sorry, I'm a little bit, already answered, I guess, all the questions here, Davide.
Yes, sorry, because we have 5 minutes. So, I don't know if there are other questions, but more or less are questions that you already answered, if I'm not mistaken. Elisa?
I'm here. I'm reading,
Okay.
but I answer that there are questions that are repeated, means
Yes.
I've already before, so.
Yes, so guys, let me tell you that this presentation is recorded, so will be available really very soon on our YouTube channel. And there was a lot of questions, and so we will have maybe in July another session of this portfolio review, let me say, and because it was really very interesting, and I've seen a lot of questions. So let me say thank you very much, Elisa. I don't know if you want to say something more.
Yes, I would like to thank you, all the students. You ask very important questions, and I'm super, super glad about your curiosity. Your curiosity is what is more relevant for us, and your personality. So a little bit, be full, be unique, and don't be scared to send us something that is a little bit out of the box. I think best things happen only when you are out of the box. So thank you very much, Davide, for this opportunity. Thank you, Angela Ambrogio, also for being here with us today, the Domus Academy team. And thank you especially the students for being with me and asking those fantastic questions. I hope I answered everything. Thank you again, Davide, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Elisa, and thank you, guys. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye, ciao.